breaking this morning, victory in Virginia for Republicans.
All righty, Virginia, we won this thing!
Glenn Youngkin moving from the C-suite to governor's seat. His campaign, once seen as a long shot, the political unknown, now set to become the Commonwealth's 74th governor.
We will go to the people, for the people. It will be of the people.
Youngkin's win signaling a seismic shift in Virginia politics and the historic moment made while you slept.
We have had a black president elected not once but twice, and here I am, living proof.
Live coverage continues on 13 News Now Daybreak.
And these are the results you're waking up to this morning. The Associated Press declaring Glenn Youngkin the winner, leading Terry McAuliffe at 51 to 49%, with now 95% of the vote tally. You're waking up with Daybreak on the day after Election Day. I'm Dane Kennedy.
And I'm Ashley Smith. And it was a huge night for Republicans. In addition to winning the governor's seat, Republican candidates are leading in both the lieutenant governor's race and the race for attorney general. And those races have not yet been called. We're still awaiting the final tally, which could come in at any point this morning.
So here's how we're covering this big story. The one thing we didn't hear from Terry McAuliffe last night, plus history made in the Commonwealth and shifting the balance of power in the State House. But first, we need to talk about the top of the ticket and the early morning projection here.
That's right. The Associated Press predicts Glenn Youngkin will be the next governor of Virginia. The eyes of the nation were on this race. It's been seen as a referendum on the job done by President Joe Biden. Democrats have not lost a statewide contest in Virginia in more than a decade.
Well, that changed last night, and Casey Baylor live now with the governor-elect's plans for day one. Casey, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. Well, day one, he's focused on schools, jobs, and taxes as his plan as the next governor of Virginia. Last night, Glenn Youngkin says he plans to improve schools by investing in teachers and new school facilities. He also plans to eliminate grocery taxes and cut taxes on the retirement income for retired veterans. And he's planning to implement a funding plan for law enforcement that includes higher salaries and better training and equipment for officers.
My fellow Virginians, we stand here this morning at this defining moment.
Youngkin is also promising to protect qualified immunity and replace the parole board moving into his next role as governor. For now, we're live in Portsmouth. I'm Casey Baylor for 13 News Now.
All right, Casey, thanks. And we have yet to hear a concession from Democratic challenger Terry McAuliffe. We were told overnight that a planned speech was called off. Here's what McAuliffe had to say when he took the stage.
So we still got a lot of votes to count. We got about 18% of the vote out, so we're going to continue to count the votes because every single Virginian deserves to have their vote counted.
And we're still waiting to hear if and when McAuliffe will concede. We'll let you know if that changes.
Well, the race for lieutenant governor is very tight this morning. Republican Winsome Sears leads Democrat Hala Ayala 51 to 49%. 95% of votes have been tallied so far. The Associated Press has not called this race yet, but at Youngkin's victory party last night, Sears declared herself the winner. Now, no matter who wins, either candidate will make history as the first woman of color to hold a statewide office in Virginia. Now, the race for attorney general is neck and neck. Republican Jason Miyares has a slight lead with a little over 30,000 votes more than Democrat incumbent Mark Herring. Right now, the race is too close to call, but Miyares celebrated early last night, saying this as he took the stage.
The number crunchers have told me they are confident that we will win. We obviously have a few votes left outstanding, but it feels fantastic.
If Miyares wins, he would make history as the first Latino Attorney General in state history.
All right, we're also watching the races in the House of Delegates. Here's some out of the 21st District. Kelly Fowler fins off her challenger, Tanya Gould. So Fowler going to hold on to her seat. She wins by looking like a 400-vote margin there. In the 75th District, you have Republican Otto Waxman defeating the incumbent Rosalind Tyler. So the Republicans going to take that seat, winning with more convincing 6% margin there. And out of the 83rd District House, you have Republican Timothy Anderson so far defeating Democrat incumbent Nancy Guy, and about 1,000 votes separating those two. As we get more results for the rest of the races, just text the word results to the number on your screen. We'll send you back a link. We'll text you back a link so you can keep an eye on all those. You can also watch all these results scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and more coming up on Good Morning America.
Now let's get to your morning headlines. World leaders at the COP26 conference in Glasgow promised to protect the Earth's forests, cut methane emissions, and help South Africa use less coal. This is all in an effort to avoid global warming from getting worse. More than $19 billion in public and private funds have been pledged towards that plan. Next up, Facebook shutting down its facial recognition system. The feature has drawn criticism from privacy experts, sparked government investigations, and a class action lawsuit. As part of the shutdown, the platform will also delete face prints of more than 1 billion people. And third, Norfolk Public School Board will meet tonight to discuss its vaccine policy for employees. About 3,300 employees are fully vaccinated, but 1,300 did not respond to the initial survey. The board says employees must be fully vaccinated by January 3rd. And those are your morning headlines. Now let's check in with Craig for your forecast.
All right, Ashley. Good morning, everybody. Today we are looking at winds coming in from the north and the northeast. Evidence here, you can see the flags blowing in off the water. It is going to be a cooler day. Our weather headlines include decreasing clouds. It is mostly cloudy across parts of the area this morning, but we're going to see a lot more sunshine this afternoon. The cool air will settle in, not just today, but for the next several days, below average through the upcoming weekend and even into early next week. Shower chances coming up tomorrow, and again, it looks like late Saturday night into early Sunday for parts of the area. Right now, 50 degrees. Skies are cloudy at the airport. North winds 15 miles per hour. We do have cooler readings inland. Petersburg really jumping off the map there at 37, 35 at Tappahannock. Temperatures low 50s, Virginia Beach, and down through the Outer Banks. As we take a look at the visibility, we've got some fog showing up around Richmond, a half-mile visibility there. With the breezier conditions near the coast, fog is not an issue for most of Hampton Roads. We are dry this morning as we take you through the day. I mentioned the clouds kind of thinning out a little bit. It should be mostly sunny this afternoon, but highs today only around 55 degrees officially. So obviously cooler conditions. It's going to stay cool, as I mentioned. I'll break down the rain chances, and we'll look at your weekend in just a bit. Here's Bethany.
All right, thanks, Craig. Taking a look at your traffic here this morning. Overall, moving well if you're stepping out the door. No big issues. We just have disabled vehicles causing some annoyances here. The first one is on 664 northbound. This is right as you're trying to exit off Western Freeway or the West Norfolk Bridge, Route 164, whatever you know it as. As you're trying to take that exit, you'll see a stalled vehicle, not really causing much of an issue. This stalled vehicle is causing a little bit of delay here. This is in Hampton, right as you're nearing the HRBT, or as you're coming, I should say, away from the HRBT, 64 westbound. We've got a stalled vehicle, exit 267. That's right as you're coming up toward Armstead Avenue. Expect minor delays there, just that one side, that one lane and that shoulder closed. Traffic still moving fine on 64 west. I'll have a full look at the rest of our viewing area coming up in just minutes. Dan.
All right, your time is now 6:08. We're glad you're waking up with Daybreak.
And here are some of the other stories we're working on for you this morning. Protecting kids against COVID. The CDC green lights one vaccine, but what about the side effects?
And Isolation Nation, how all that time spent cooped up in quarantine actually helped some people out.
13 News Now and Hampton Roads Connector partners would like to inform the community of job opportunities available right now. HRCP is now hiring excavator operators, carpenters, and carpenter foremen. For more information, go to hrcpjobs.com or call 757-578-9284.
We're Paramount Builders, where the savings are